Hi everybody, welcome back to the Gallagher Shots YouTube channel where Newcastle United have just scraped through another cup fixture. So Mark, thoughts on that one? We'll start with the team. Okay, we'll start with the lineup. What were your thoughts on that? Because personally, I was shocked.
Well, we had a little bit of chat in the preview for the game around what we thought the team was going to be, and we didn't think it would be that dissimilar to what it played in the last round, bar the injuries that we'd picked up. So I think we're more or less got 9 out of the 11 of the starting. So quite a strong team, which you expect looking at that lineup for them to be able to have more than enough to go and cause Newport trouble.
Yeah, the thing that shocked me, and I think it was pretty evident the more the game went on, was Andy Carroll starting. And I think we mentioned this every single game, apart from the West Ham game. I'll give him credit on that one. But every single game that we see Andy Carroll not just start, but come as a substitution, sees our game plan change. And as soon as Andy Carroll is on that pitch, you know what's happening, especially when we don't have a centre-back who's confident with the ball. Mm-hmm. You just see that ball just get lifted to the top. And we saw it again today. And I don't know what it is, especially Joe Linton had such a good game against Morgan in the previous round. He came on against Spurs. Did he come on Spurs or did he start Spurs? He was a left-hand side.
He started on the left. Yeah,
he was a left-hand side against Spurs, and he's probably one of the better players, if not the best against Spurs.
Yeah.
And I felt a bit bad for him, the fact that he was dropped and Carroll came in, and I don't think we look threatening as a football team when Carroll is on the field. No, I'm not sure your thoughts on that one, mate.
No, again, like. We had a little bit of a chat about that around who would play up front, and you knew Wilson was going to get rested because obviously he's the number one striker. You don't want to burn him out. You stick him on the bench to come on if you need him. I thought Joe probably would have started, but as I pointed out on the podcast, he'd kind of played the last couple of games. He'd started to look a little bit of leggy in the game against Spurs as it got to later on. So that's probably the reason why he gave him then a bit of a rest. But you're right. The fact that Carroll was on there just meant we just went route one.
Yeah.
And what I really, really struggle with is if we're going to play with two wide players, why don't we give the ball to those wide players if we are going to play with Carroll up front? Yeah. Instead of just, as you've said, from the two centre-backs, just lumping it forward. Even the keeper's done every time, it was just lumping it straight up there. Or 9 times out of 10, the ball was going to Shelvey, and Shelvey was just pinging it.
Yeah.
I cannot understand why, if you're going to play with two wide men, you don't give them the ball.
Yeah, no, you're right, mate. We saw Mankiw at right back once again. Does that put an end to DeAndre Yedlin's career at Newcastle United? Does it look like he's a move is coming close? Because you would expect him to start this game or at least be featured in the squad. Are we holding out for a couple of million, which we're hoping for to get for him now?
Well, he's been rumoured to be going to Turkey in the last couple of weeks, and then that went quiet. But yeah, I expected him to start, if not at right back, over at left back. Obviously with just Lewis picking up that bit of an injury. I'm glad he didn't play left side because I thought Lewis had a very good game.
Yeah.
In even more so as the game went on. But yeah, I think that. Time's drawn to an end on Yedlin's Newcastle career by the looks of things.
Yeah, so the game itself, mate, we were absolutely shocking. Let's be honest about it. We were horrendous. If you thought the Spurs game was bad, that was even worse. If we're going up against a League Two team, we played a League Two squad the last round and we absolutely annihilated them. What happened tonight? Because that was one of the worst performances I've seen, and that was by some of our senior professionals. Because I know Shelvey got the goal in the end, but he looked like he had never seen a football in his life before that goal.
Shocking. I mean, you know, I'm not his greatest fan, but by God, that was an awful performance. He was just dropping deeper and deeper and deeper, like every time. That the first half. He might as well have been playing as a sweeper in the back four, because I think I've seen him get over the halfway line once in the first half, and not just him. You know, Longstaff was just
all
the
of
same.
them.
He wasn't kind of doing anything, but there was just a real lack of any sort of effort or accountability being shown on the pitch for them. They just didn't look like they wanted to be there.
So John, who I watched the game with tonight, he summed it up perfectly. He basically said, and this was around about the 70th minute, I would say, this looks like a preseason game, and we're not asked about losing the game.
Yeah.
It looked like a fitness test. That's what it looked like. And there were so many players who just didn't look up to the challenge and up to fitness. Even Fraser on the left hand side. Is he fit or what? Oh, I've got my lights gone.
Your lights got off.
Is he fit? Like I don't even know like what the crack is with him.
I don't know, because like literally from the kickoff, he went sprinting up the left hand side, chasing up the ball. And I thought, oh well, that's a really good start from him. He's shown a bit of intention that he wants to put them under pressure and get forward, and then he did nothing for the next 40 minutes. So I just there's no excuse for that first well, I'm saying first half performance, because it did get a bit better.
Mate, I would say the first 75 minutes. No, the first half, the first 75 minutes.
We literally did not get going at them until the 80th minute. But with the two substitutions at the start of the second half, obviously Wilson and Joe came up on and we showed more intention to try and get forward and take the game to them. I think Joe showed more in the first 30 seconds of him being on the pitch than Carol had shown in 60 minutes of being on there. And I don't want to bash Carroll too much, but he's just. I just don't understand what the point of him is. Yeah. What is he there to be doing? Because if you're lumping the ball up to him, he's either needs to get a flick onto somebody or to bring those that are in around him into the game. But there was nobody anywhere near him.
Yeah.
The defense really didn't have much to do with him.
A couple of that players I want to mention, mate. Just before we're going into the whole penalties and everything, is one of them, Murphy. Murphy once again had a great game last round against Morecambe, but tonight he was getting in decent areas and scuffing every single one of his shots, and he just once again he looked like it was an end product which killed him every single time. There was a point late on in the game where Wilson was screaming at him because he could have cut that back, and he looked very greedy when he was getting in decent positions, and every single shot it wasn't even close to the target, mate, when he should be hitting the target, apart from the two he had in the first half. But later on the game, it fizzled out for him, didn't it?
I think it's one of those where he's almost trying too hard, because he's wanting to kind of vindicate himself a little bit under like the abuse that he's had and his performances when he has played forward before going out on loan and stuff like that. So he's wanting to. Because he did have a good game. It was in the last round. He didn't play badly this one. It's just
even today, I wouldn't say he had a bad game. I'm just saying that there was chances where you would expect him to hit the target and he hasn't.
It's just having that confidence, isn't it? In front of goal, we've seen it with Miggy. I mean, Fraser had two good chances as well.
Yeah.
Where he went through 1-on-1 with the keeper, and then Miggy followed it up, and then another one later on where he kind of went into the box and the keeper makes a save, where you just think if with a little bit of more confidence he's going to either take it around the keeper or drill it, where he just seems to just almost place it against the goalkeeper rather than testing him.
Speaking about goalkeepers, mate, our goalkeeper at the other end, first handful of minutes, Gillespie, he didn't look right after that, but what happened there? Like, I saw a lot of pundits saying it's took an awkward bounce and it slipped off the surface. I've never saw that. Like, it just looked like a bad.
It was just weird, wasn't it? I mean, to be fair to Newport, the shot that they had that led to the goal was excellent. Mm-hmm. Great shot, dipping, hits the crossbar. Shelby, what we was doing before that shot is beyond me. Again, I'm slagging him off, but he deserves it. And then, great shot for them, and then it falls, and then Kraft then swings at it to try and clear it, and he just does a pirouette on the spot, and then it falls to their player, who just takes it, a bit of a half-arse shot, really, and you just think, oh, that's steady. Gillespie's just nice and calmly lying down. I'm going to collect that ball, and somehow, like it just went over or past his hand, and to be honest, at first I was like, has that actually happened? Has that gone in? Because it just didn't look like there was any sort of risk at all from that shot. But it's just the bounce, whether that
Yeah.
deceives him. I don't know.
But without
It just
being
seemed
too
really,
harsh,
really
mate,
slow.
we've got to remember he's our third choice keeper. So we've got to remember that at the end of the day, like I said, he didn't look right after that. He looked like a
It's going to shake his confidence, isn't it?
oh, massively, mate. And I think even like we'll go into obviously Shelby, a fantastic goal, great goal. Something I wasn't expecting from Shelby, especially turning players inside out.
Yeah.
But he does an absolutely fantastic goal by Shelby. Leads into penalties eventually. I know I had a couple of chances after that, but nothing came of them. But leading into penalties there. So the commentators, fantastic stat they came out with. The last 11 penalty shootouts Newcastle have been involved in, they've lost 10 of them, which is phenomenal when you think about it. But
Yeah.
I think it's will have been shocking with penalties. Normally left-footed players that normally blaze it over the bar forward. But going into the penalty shootouts, I was thinking if only we had another substitute available, then I'd probably put Darlow on because we've seen how good Darlow is at penalties in the past. But obviously Wilson scores the first one, and I think I know I said I don't want to be too harsh because he's with third choice goalkeeper, but I know he saved one of them, Gillespie. But I think there's another 2 penalties that he should be saving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I said to you, but just before with the penalty shootout started, I was like, he's got a chance here to, to make up for a little bit of his cock up that he's made and make yourself a bit of a hero. And you're expecting him to be busting the gut to try and get every single penalty that's being taken. And like you say, that there was a few where he could have maybe got a little bit closer to. There were some very good penalties in there as well from both sides. In all honesty, but. Yeah, it wasn't. It didn't fill us with confidence. His performance, or think he's really gone in there to try and make up for that mistake. But thankfully, it turned out all right in the end. But
yeah, we'll go through in the end, mate. We'll go through in the end. We're on to the next round, so it's always positive. And then is the quarterfinals now? It's right, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, quarterfinals.
So quarterfinals now. But I want to touch on Joe Linton. We've said he came on the field there. And he didn't change the game, but he done a lot more than what Carroll did. For what?
Definitely much more energy and strength on the ball and stuff like that, and actually wanting to get the ball and play forward. Yeah. Whereas everything that we were doing up until that point was just going sideways or backwards.
Mm-hmm. So he got the penalty, mate, and when he was walking up, I just thought to myself, I was like, please, Joe, I was like, not for the sake of Newcastle United, not for the sake of me, for the sake of you and the people on your back, score this. I was like, you cannot miss this. And if
to be fair, though, when he was walking up, and I messaged you this at the time, he didn't look right walking up. He seemed to be hobbling and limping. And I noticed on I think it was his left leg, his shorts were just rolled up a little bit, and he had like a bit of a like the tape down his thigh. So I don't know whether he's got a little bit of a niggle, but he just wasn't walking comfortably at all.
Either way, mate, we slated it was Shelby and Hayden in the last penalty shootout we had for 2 shocking penalties. That was almost a carbon copy. It's a horrible height, straightforward.
It's perfect height for the keeper, isn't it? Yeah.
Not towards any corner. It's a shocking penalty, but I'm not going to slate him too much because once again, just like the rest of them that we've had to go at, we did get through. Okay, that's what matters at the end of the day. It wasn't pretty to watch. It was a horrible football. Horrendous. I think it was horrible setup by Steve Bruce, a horrible team selection by Steve Bruce. But I think we've got to remember here, we're always on the case of supporting the team, supporting the players here. And I just go back to a few weeks ago where there was a certain local newspaper. Joe Linton came on the pitch for, I think, the last 10 minutes, and they gave him a 3 for the player ratings. When those players on the pitch who were horrendous compared to him, that were getting 5s and 6s. So I think we need to take everything with a pinch of salt. Remember that Joe he's not the worst player. I think we saw last week against Spurs the reason why he hasn't been successful at Newcastle United. So let's not blame him for not necessarily missed the penalty, because he did. It was a shocking penalty. But we've got to remember where we are right now. And we got through at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and kick off about Gillespie, because if we had have lost that game, then it would have been down to him. But we didn't. We're through. We'll forget about everything which happened in that game because it was horrendous. I think we'll probably all want to forget about it, and we'll move on to the weekend's game.
Yeah, there was bigger problems in that performance than a Joe Linton penalty. Quite frankly, there's a hell of a lot of those players need to look at themselves in the mirror and just think, what was I doing out on that pitch? Because they absolutely showed no pride, no commitment in that shirt, and you need to, at least, that's the bare minimum that you can do, is actually have a bit of effort and a bit of pride in your performance. And there was none
I think
of that on
a
display.
lot of people will probably be watching this thinking, oh, it's been quite a downbeat recording and a reaction to this one. The reason for that is because we're up against a League Two team and we haven't been able to beat them in 90 minutes worth of play. Yeah. And that's horrendous, absolutely horrendous.
We didn't even take the game to them, which is the most frustrating thing. We absolutely should have more than enough quality on that pitch to go out there and get a result. And look, taking nothing away from Newport, because we knew it was going to be a different team and a much bigger task than it was in the last round against Morecambe, because of the way they play and the way they perform and stuff like that. So you've got to match that. They wanted it more than us. Simple as that. Yeah. So it's just not good enough when you cannot give that effort on it in a performance.
Especially on the back of that poor performance against Spurs as well, mate. We needed a reaction. We didn't get it. We did not get that today. So we need that at the weekend.
How many times have we said that?
Exactly, mate. Exactly. But yeah, everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing to the Gallagher Shots YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, just click on that subscribe button. We have, honestly, mate, I'm going to say this, and I say it every single time, and I said it a used lot this morning. There's nobody putting out the content that we're putting out at the minute. You're looking at 7, 8, 9 videos a week, covering all sorts of bases for Newcastle United. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Tell everybody else to subscribe.
Tell your mum, your dad, your sister, your brother. You can't go and visit them or see them, so you might as well watch YouTube and watch this together with them. Have like a family, friends and family like viewing.
We'll do a live party, mate. We'll do a live party and everybody can see each other. Right, but we'll be back at the weekend, mate, and we'll see you then.
Good night.
See you later.